Hello and welcome to a scuffed, uh, like leveling guide. I'm leveling my second acolyte of the Chayula, and I figured I should share a lot of my experiences. This is going to be a template to get you into like the cruel area of the game, and from there you can kind of follow whichever build guide for a monk build you really want to play. As long as they're attack based, this should really just be generic enough to suit those purposes. Getting into some of the damage showcase, this is Cruel Act 1. So just this little sample of at least the Acolyte version. If you're on Invoker, you're just inherently going to do a lot more damage early on. I'm playing Acolyte because I'm stubborn and a glutton for punishment. But as you can see, it's fairly reliable. Modest weapon. Some of the stuff is reused from my first monk. And my passive tree is a lot more scuffed than this one. I genuinely think that the passive tree and some of the like optimizations, especially early on, is going to make monk feel a lot better. So the first unique that you're really going to want is Pillar of the Cage God. You can pause it here and read, but this weapon early on is insanely valuable. The next unique is Foxshade, and this armor is also very, very good. For your spirit gem, you're going to want to pick up Wind Dancer as soon as possible. It's insanely valuable early on. In Act 3, you get access to an additional spirit reservation, and you're going to take Combat Frenzy and combine it with Resonance Keystone. This powerful combination will allow you to generate a lot of charges for charged staff and allow you to start shocking enemies. You will need to probably get some shock chants, either through the support or passive tree, or even like some flat lightning on your weapon to really enable consistency. You don't need to follow this passive tree to a T. A lot of this stuff is kind of personal preference in the order that you take it. However, the node with like the strength and attack damage and attack speed on it pretty early on is quite valuable, the one that I'm taking right here. And then pathing up for the attack speed and reduced mana cost. And then grabbing up some of these jewel sockets if you have any extra jewel sockets or jewels lying around from another character, feel free to plop them in. And then the two cold nodes at the very top are incredibly busted if you freeze an enemy. And don't forget to like pick up Frostbomb, your Tempest Bell, all sorts of different utilities to really help you with your DPS. It's a lot of clicking buttons, but it'll get a lot easier over time when you learn all the combos and rotations. Or you can just use whatever skill you want instead of Ice Strike. I'm reusing the same passive tree footage for the rest of this, but the points that I really want to drive home here is there's a lot of other content creators or people that have put guides and information, resource information type stuff out there. To name a few: Zizrin, Travik, Zish, Don the Crown, Milky. That's all I can really think of like off the top of my head right now. If you have questions and you really want to bother like a specific streamer, I'm sure Travik could answer questions live. He's a nice guy. I've watched him for like years. I've watched Zizrin for years, but he probably doesn't know that much about this kind of niche playstyle himself. And of course, Mathel's playing a monk live on stream. If you like Mathel, you can always ask him. Some of the other people also stream. I don't really watch any of the other people, and I don't really watch streams in general. The point that I really want to drive home here is that this is just like a template, a building block. A lot of monk builds take this kind of tree pathing. You can go crit, non-crit. You can play it Invoker, you can go Chayula. Chayula is just flat out way less damage. And I'm trying to test and push Chayula to the limits, going a purely non-crit build. There's going to be way more stuff about that within like the next week from me, kind of seeing how it pans out in SSF. And other than that, I just really want to drive home some points about a lot of the monk skills. They're complex. They do not make sense like initially. It's nothing else like a lot of other ARPGs. There's combo stuff. The Bell requires a combo, which is basically hitting with a strike skill multiple times. And then you can place the Bell. The Bell has like weird AoE stuff, etc. For Ice Strike specifically, you really want to use Frost Bomb as well. You can get that very, very early on. Just don't level it up. Keep that mana cost down low. And then you can, if you have extra support gems, you can put some of the higher tier exposure effects onto your Frost Bomb. And that'll just enable really, really, really good cold damage really, really early on. Some other things. Frostmark or Ice Mark, whatever it's called, is pretty good when you get access to that. And then the like Frozen Palm or whatever the heck it's called, it creates like a huge ice explosion. That's always nice. If you have extra spirit, go for the Herald of Ice. You do not need it. It's not required, but it will help out your damage tremendously. Or you can drop Ghost Dance, or not Ghost Dance, the Wind Dancer for it. But with Wind Dancer, you will like, if as long as you stay on top of a good body armor and get that 100% increased evasion of the body armor, you will have really, really high evasion. There's a lot of slam skills that you just cannot dodge, and even from white mobs, they will just one-shot you almost. So you need to watch out for that. Additionally, there's a lot of other damage nodes. Just shift click over stuff if you're ever confused. Is this helping my build? If it's generic. If it's niche, you really got to understand how PoE works in order to know if it's actually an upgrade. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye.